willing, in history, it has never happened before. That a Muslim and a Hindu can share a platform. It hasn't happened, and it was going to happen here tonight. But now, Allah didn't will it. But it can happen in India. That a Muslim and a Hindu, in 1,000 years it hasn't happened. Debates have taken place between Muslims and Hindus. Debates. But symposiums, never. Here is an opportunity in 1,000 years, which says now we are prepared to stand up before the public and deliver a message as to what this concept of God each party has. Swami Agnivesh, this is the picture, they had given it to us, from which we produced the pamphlets. He's quite a handsome gentleman. And I asked him about his name this morning. I said, Agnivesh. I said, Agni, I know. I know the word Agni. Agni means fire. But I said, Vesh, I don't know. I have some ideas, suspicions about what it means, but I really don't know. Will you please explain to me what is Agni Vesh? Agni is fire. What is Vesh? He says, Vesh in Sanskrit means the embodiment of a quality. Agni Vesh, embodiment of fire. The nature of fire is to burn. It burns, serves a purpose, it does harm, but generally is doing good. Without fire, all these civilizations you see around us would never existed. Without fire, without heat, all these metals that went to make these things, everything that you see there, nothing would work. Your stoves, your fridges, fire, fire, fire. And he was the embodiment of fire. But he has been such a fantastic person that I'm looking forward to meeting him again, personally this time. Coming to the topic of this evening, the concept of God in Islam. Concept of God in any religion. I have a statement here before me by Samuel Zwemer. Samuel Zwemer is the founder of the Zwemer Institute in Pasadena, America. That institute is solely directing its activities towards the Muslims, to convert the Muslims of the world. The Zwemer Institute. The founder of that institute, Samuel Zwemer, he makes this statement. He said, no religion is higher than its concept of God. No religion is higher than its concept of God. The height of your religion depends upon your concept. What do you think of God? Whatever the height of that level of your thinking, your apprehension, that is the level of your religion. But when a person moots an idea, he propounds a theory, it presupposes that the person believes that his is the highest. Otherwise, who will make such a statement? If a Hindu made such a statement, at the back of his mind, Hinduism has the highest concept. If the Muslim made such a statement, it presupposes that the Muslim believes that the Muslim is the highest concept of God. And if a Christian makes such a statement, it presupposes that Christianity has the highest concept of God. And I have no hesitation in agreeing with this proposition. That the highest concept of God, the higher the concept, the higher your religion. Now, if I were to do, which is natural thing to do, is to go to the Quran and tell the people, Muslims and non-Muslims, said we have the highest concept. We Muslims are and this anybody would do. The Christian will do the same, the Hindu will do the same. Everybody is natural for them to boast that my concept, my book has the highest concept. But now, I said, if I can get it from the mouth of the opposition, this testimony, then it would mean something real. Because it is natural for each individual, his religious concept to say is the highest and the best. And in this, I am going back to 1776. At a time when the whole Muslim world was down in the gutters. 1776. Edward Gibbon, the master historian, he wrote his encyclopedia called The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. 1776. And in it, his encyclopedia, he says that the creed of Muhammad, the idea, the philosophy, the principles of the teachings of this man, Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is free from the suspicions of ambiguity. And the Quran is a glorious testimony to the unity of God. This is coming from the mouth of the Westerner, the Christian. He says that. Edward Gibbon. Ambiguity. Having more than one possible meaning to a thing. You say something and you mean one thing and you also mean something else. Ambiguity. You're not very clear cut. Islam, he says, the creed of Muhammad is free from that. There's no ambiguity. It's clear cut, straightforward. Anything what it says, it stands for what it says. It has no dual meanings. When the Christian would say, it says, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, says these three are not three, but one. Now that's ambiguity. No, Islam has no such things. To give you a crude example of ambiguity, when you use some words and you mean something else, I give an example of a lady who says that no man is good enough for her. A woman, who says no man is good enough for me, she says. So we say she may be right and she may be left. She may be right and she may be left. She may be left on the shelf. She may never get a husband. You see? But now I say she may be right and she may be left. It's got double meaning. Can you see? Double. That's ambiguity. In Islam, the creed of Muhammad, according to Gibbon, has no ambiguity. Clear cut, straightforward. If it says one, it's one. Indivisible, indivisible. In his quality and his nature is absolutely unique. When he says unique, he is unique. There's nothing like him that you can think or imagine. Then, some years later, in 1854, Lamartine, a French historian, he wrote the history of the Turks. And the Turks, incidentally being Muslims, he started speaking about our Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the Holy Prophet Muhammad, and his concept of God. And this is what he says in his book, The History of the Turks. The idea of the unity of God, proclaimed amidst the exhaustion of fabulous theologies, was in itself such a miracle that upon its utterance from his lips, it destroyed all the ancient superstitions. His endless prayers, his mystic conversations with God, his death and his triumph after death, all these attest not to an imposture but to a firm conviction which gave him the power to restore a dogma. This dogma was twofold, based on the unity of God and the immateriality of God. His unity, and he's not a material being. He's not physical. And the immateriality of God. The former telling what God is, and the latter telling what God is not. What he is and what he is not. And coming to modern days, modern times, this current affairs. His Holiness the Pope John Paul II, he's just published a book, written a book, called Crossing the Threshold of Hope, by His Holiness Pope John Paul II. I am just inquisitive. How many of you own this book? Please put up your hand. If any of you own this book, Crossing the Threshold of Hope by Pope John Paul II. Anybody who owns this book in this hall, just put up your hand. I won't be asking for it. I just want to know whether you own it. Anybody, please put up your hand. Not one? You have it, sister? Good. One lady has it, alhamdulillah. Can you imagine that in this packed hall, only one person, she has it? Are you a Muslim, sister? No. You must be a Roman Catholic. No. Great. No, she's not a Roman Catholic, but she owns a book. She is not a Muslim. Now, I am offering, starting with my sisters,